Hello everyone. So we were learning how Niels Bohr uh, rectified various drawbacks of Rutherford's atomic model. Now another problem that developed from the Rutherford's model that it could not explain the line spectra obtained from the hydrogen atom. Now line spectra and continuous spectra, these two parts topics were already discussed in the second class. Now I know that some of you have joined the class late. I suggest you to go to the previous classes available in YouTube, then come to this class. So the links are provided in the group. However, so let's start the class, which this section is going to be about the explanation of the line spectra obtained from the excited hydrogen atoms. Now, what you look at the picture is a slide. This slide is used by the children in park. So, if you look at the picture, you assume that you are the nucleus, and the very top of the slide is an orbit far away from an inner atom. So, the higher position in the slide is a distant orbit, and you are the nucleus. And as the electron, if there is an electron at very top and it comes at you, or an orbit nearer to you, it is going to slide, it is going to jump like a slide, so it is going to lose energy. Now how it is going to lose energy? So throughout the process of sliding down, there are numerous infinite number of positions. So that way, when the electrons comes down, it is going to lose energy continuously. So when that energy in form of electromagnetic radiation or light is analyzed or passed through a prism, that continuous emission is going to a continuous spectrum. Now continuous spectrum, as you can see in the picture, the greener color and the yellow color, there is no boundary between these two colors. So there is a region between the green color and yellow color, which is a mix of both colors. So the whole thing is continuous. So continuous sliding down of electrons from higher orbit to a nearer orbit results a continuous spectrum. So this is coming from the Rutherford's model, because in Rutherford's model there was no any definite orbit or a defined orbit. So an infinite number of orbit was possible in a Rutherford's orbit, Rutherford's atom. However, obviously that model is not true. So you can come down by using stairs or steps. Now if you come down from a higher orbit to a nearer orbit by stepwise, so in each step you are going to lose energy, and that energy or light will give you different colors. Now since in the gas jar the number of hydrogen atoms are numerous, so from numerous hydrogen atoms there are numerous number of emissions from different sources. In fact, from one single hydrogen atom there can be various sources of emission. The electron can come down from the third orbit to second orbit, or it can come down from third orbit to first orbit. So two emissions can be possible if the higher orbit is n3 and the lower orbit is n1 or n2. So there can be a huge number of emissions coming from hydrogen atoms in a gas jar. So each emission will result a color from the prism. Now since the sources are different, each color is going to be separated by a darker region. That's why a line spectra instead of continuous spectra is obtained. So what you see on the screen is an example of a line spectra. So just remember, if an electron has to be moved from a closer orbit to a distant orbit, energy has to be provided or supplied to the electrons. Or if the electron comes down from a higher orbit to a nearer orbit, it will emit energy. In both cases, the energy is in the form of light. So, suppose in the picture, there are three orbits, n1, n2 and n3. So, if the electron comes down from the n3 to n2, it will emit energy because n3 has a higher energy because it is farther away, and n2 is nearer energy, it has less energy. So the difference of energy is E3 minus E2 or delta E. Now that delta E energy will emit in form of light. Now that light will have a photon, and that photon will correspond to h nu energy. So we can write h nu is equal to E3 minus E2 or delta E. In the same way, energy has to be absorbed by an electron if it has to move or excite from n1 orbit to n3 orbit. You can see this transition in the lower section of the picture. So if the electron transits from n1 to n3, it will absorb energy in form of light. Energy has to be provided to the electron. Now that energy should be provided in light. So light will have energy h nu, and that h nu is the difference of energies between two orbits. So obviously this from earlier case, now this case the energy may be different. So we may call this h nu 1. H nu 1 is equal to E3 minus E1 or delta E. Like this way, inside an hydrogen atom, there can be a various sort of transitions. In the first case, what you can see at the very left of the picture, there are transitions occurring in which the electrons is coming down from higher orbit to first orbit, that is n1. So if the electrons comes down from n2 to n1, this is the first Lyman series, first Lyman line. If the electrons come down from n3 to n2, n3 to n1, it is the second Lyman line. Like this way, all these lines that is obtained as a line spectra is part of a Lyman series. And why this is called Lyman series? Because this part of the line spectra was discovered by Lyman. So again, in Lyman series, the orbit to which the electrons come down is n1 or first orbit, and the corresponding energies, you can see this in a Lyman series in UV part of the region. Again, if the electrons come down to second orbit from higher orbit, it will create Balmer series of line. After that we have Paschen series, then we have Brackett series, then we have Humphrey series. You have to remember the Balmer series is obtained as a visible light, and after that all the series such as Paschen, Brackett and Humphrey are infrared. Now there are two formulas. There is no slide available, but I am telling you. Suppose an electron is in nth level. Now how many spectral lines, maximum spectral lines it may create? So the formula is n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So if the electron is in fourth orbit, maximum lines it can create is 4 into 4 minus 1 divided by 2. So likewise. Now suppose an electron comes down from the second orbit to first orbit. Now that transition will correspond to an emission of energy. If the electrons comes down from n2 to n1, it will emit energy, and that energy or photon particle will have a wavelength. We can calculate the wavelength by using this formula. So the formula is 1 by lambda. Here the lambda is the wavelength of the emitted radiation, equals to r, which is a constant. This is the Rydberg constant, into bracket 1 by nf square minus 1 by ni square. Here nf is the final orbit and ni is the first orbit. So always Ni is greater than Nf. So if the electrons comes from fifth orbit to first orbit, the Ni is 1 and Nf is 5. So you may use this formula to solve the problem. The value of R, you can find this in the NCERT book. So this is the conclusion of Bohr's atomic model. In the next class, we will start the wave mechanical concept of electrons. Thank you.